the President addressed this National Assembly for the first time when this government had fully taken control of the steering wheel for a whole year. I listened to what he said about sincerity, and I emphasized the way forward based on having internal knowledge. I emphasized to this House that the change was not just for its sake, that there was a thought process to establish an agency for sustainable socio-economic development that will create an expert bank, that will create clusters of experts to look into every sector of development of this country and look at the strategic plans, the policies of the old government, examine their shortcomings, and come up with a blueprint that will be implemented when the government takes over. And I analyzed what the President said, and in terms of employment, I quoted over 480-something thousand children being in our 484,000 children coming out of our school system every 12 years, that this should be our concern. And member for Joshua indicated that by quoting 1,000 for 11 million euro, the training is just 1,000. We've not been given any other additional information. Another 14,000, another 1,000. $3.9 million, another 2,500. I am saying this is such a scanty information that, as far as I'm concerned, does not tell us about anything regarding the addressing of the employment rate among the young population. And the member is saying that my statement was a misstatement. Where's the misstatement? In fact, calculate, if you have 11 million euro, is over 600 and something thousand, is something million, 600 and something million, over 600 million to be accurate, divided by 1,000. Would you spend over 600,000 on a particular individual? That's what it'll amount to. And just look at the statistics, you the teachers and mathematicians. So we are saying that we need to look into a comprehensive project that looks at the shortcomings, the challenges of youth unemployment. We're not only talking about the returnees, and then see how to address it. That is the challenge. The information we have does not address the problems of our young people. Therefore, we need information on how to address the problems of our young people. Yes, we all know that services contribute over 60% of GDP. Agriculture is about 22% of GDP, 11% or up to 13% for industry. That is information given to us already. We know the biasness of the current economy, but it is not leading us anywhere. So we're not talking about backbone based on currently what constitutes the largest part of our GDP. We're saying backbone depending on what will enable us to eradicate the poverty of our people. And if you say 70% of our people depend on agriculture, then obviously that is what we have to address to be able to eradicate poverty. That is what is said. I emphasize here that if you look at FASDEP, NEMA, GCAF, over 5 billion spent on these projects, which are some are still ongoing, some are almost coming to the end. We need to interrogate where all that money went. Why is it that we were estimating food self-sufficiency and only 57,000 out of 200,000 tons were produced in 2015? What is the agenda of the current government for food self-sufficiency? What do we intend to produce annually? Where are the estimates? Where is the study? This is why we are saying, and I must emphasize again, that even though we now have a national development plan, let the government establish a national development agency so that this agency will focus on looking at this national development plan, sectorize it, compartmentalize it, know the priorities, allocate the resources, have a work plan. That's what I'm saying. So that at least we'll be able to measure annually whether we are making progress. Helter-skelter, you will never be able to assess whether you're going to make progress. And resources will go to all areas. At the end of the day, millions will be spent. That is why 56 billion is our debt now. Over 56 billion. Every Gambian, if we calculate, and we are not 2 million yet, if it is 2 million, divided among our population, 28,000 debt burden on each Gambian, even a newborn baby. That is our debt situation. So we need to assess the way forward. And my emphasis was, if the government is a transitional government of 3 years, then we can understand that it is not its duty to eradicate poverty, but will struggle to minimize the problems of the land with the understanding of the people. If the government is 5 years, then it is a normal government. Anticipation is that it should address the problems and challenges of our people. That's my emphasis. And the member for Busumbala saying, let the people not be misled. How can be 3 years? The Constitution says 5 years. Who is he educating? Person who was in charge of this impasse, telling people why the past president should leave here on the 18th of January based on the 5-year mandate of a constitution where election takes place within 3 months before the end of final. Who are they educating about constitution? Go to section 65. A president can resign. A president can be impeached. There are many ways of leaving office. But it is the president to decide what people agree as a gentleman's agreement and what is in the national laws. That is left to those people who sat down to discuss, and it's left to people to honor what they want to honor or to throw away what they want to throw away. There is no problem with that. I was just simply emphasizing, if a president wants sympathy, then a particular mandate will be held. If the president wants to be a full president, well, then the president will be ready to face the full fire of scrutiny, so that what the nation expects of that president will be delivered. Honorable Speaker, we look at the situation of agriculture, exports, the whole economy. Honorable Speaker, the member for Salom is talking about development and talking about the treasury bills. You have to look at, even if you reduce the interest rates, is that leading to investment in the productive base of the economy? The minister told us that loans are decreasing. So where is the investment going? Liquidity is increasing. The banks are liquid. Where are they investing? So investment is what brings about productivity and development. And look at this, Honorable Speaker. In 2016, the exports of the country was 744 million plus. Re-export, 3 billion plus. And if you look at in terms of import, it was, Honorable Speaker, 15 billion. So we had a trade deficit of 11 billion. Now, 2017, export 630, it has declined. Re-export 403. So what is happening with the re-export trade? So these are the statistics we should be studying to see whether really we are moving forward. And the deficit for 2017, trade deficit, 24 billion. Honorable Speaker, we have not come to this National Assembly for an ordinary purpose. We came here to contribute our quota to addressing the needs and aspirations of our people. But if people want to transform facts into fiction, it's like looking at the sky and looking at the sun and say it is the moon. What is being said here are facts, not distortions. Facts based on our interest in addressing the needs and aspirations of our people. Honorable Speaker, I know I don't have too much time. Look at the issue of energy.
Actually, you have about 3 more minutes.
Yeah, we look at the issue of energy. The President told us 2-year power supply agreement. It's a 2-year. Is that sustainable development? I say, yes, we have an energy policy, but I have not seen sustainable development. The President tells us about also with Senelec. This is power coming from the outside. Where is sustainability? So what we want to hear, yes, this may be temporary measures, but the long-term policy is this. We want to move towards maybe 60% just fuel, 40% renewable energy. But how? Some people want to bring wind energy. Other forms of geothermal, and there are different forms of it. We want concrete policy. And people say, well, let's say, yes, the government is making, well, those people who are telling the government that maybe, let me not get into that. Let me not also impute motives. But clearly, the government should listen to the people it should listen to if it wants development to progress. Honorable Speaker, you said I have just few minutes. I will then go directly into the issue of pensions, issue of salaries, issue of empowering our women in terms of small-scale production. What plans do we have? That's why we need this National Development Agency to look at all these issues. If you look at the amount of money coming in and how it is spent, and you see these women who with $60,000, $50,000, you can have different forms of schemes, cooperative schemes, that enable the people to really eradicate their poverty. And look at agriculture. What I was emphasizing is that let's transform the mixed farming centers, not only into model centers, but into centers of expanding mechanized agriculture. You deposit all these tractors, whatever is there, and people can come and take it from there and work, and it goes back, and it continues to replenish itself. And you talk about individual farming, you give all the land to few people, and they control it. Where will the rest of our population go? Where will they farm?
I'm sorry. Yes, thank you. Honourable Member for Birkham.